Jerry Jones is not enjoying the pressure from fans and media about this Cowboys team. He just went on 105.3 The Fan with Sean and RJ this morning and had an epic rant about them asking the hard questions surrounding this roster, this team, the blowout loss, their lack of activity in the offseason, and man, it just shows a bigger problem with this organization as a whole, so let's get into it.
Let me tell you what I'll do. Let me tell you what I'll do about it. I will let us sit down and look at the decisions we've made over the last several years, okay? I'll look at it. Now, if you think I'm interested on a damn phone call with you over a radio and sitting here and throwing all the good out with the dishwater, you have got to be smoking something over there this morning. I'm not. Your job isn't to let me go over all the reasons that I did something and I'm sorry that I did it. That's not your job.
Well, my job is to ask why.
Get a job, or I'll get somebody else to ask these questions, man.
Jerry, we're trying to figure out why the team is.
I'm not kidding you. I'm not kidding you. You're not going to figure out what the team is doing right or wrong. If you are, or any 5 or 10 like you, you need to come to this meeting I'm going to today. There are 32 teams here. You're geniuses.
Jerry,
okay? Y'all really think you're going to sit here with a microphone and tell me all of the things that I've done wrong and without going over the rights?
Well,
now, listen, we both know we're talking to a lot of great fans and a lot of great listeners, and I am very sorry for what happened out there Sunday. I'm sick about what happened Sunday. Now, I'm not talking to these yahoos on the end of this phone. I'm talking to you, the fans that are listening this morning. And we can spend a lot of time going over zigging and zagging. One of the stupidest things I've ever done that anybody has ever analyzed is by the Cowboys. It was an idiot that did that. So idiot things can turn into good decisions, okay? Smart things can turn into bad decisions. The facts are that when you make one, you don't really know whether it's going to be good or not at the time. So let's just go ahead. I'm trying to answer your questions, man. You want some conversation this morning? You're getting it.
Jerry Jones.
Jerry obviously seems ticked off in this interview, and why wouldn't he be? The Cowboys just lost 47-9 to the Lions at home, and it's their third home loss of the season, and they've been pretty much blown out in every single one except slightly coming back and maybe having a chance against the Ravens. So there's no reason for him to be happy about where the Cowboys are right now. So of course, the media is going to ask you about why the team is like that, because all offseason long, everyone was asking, why aren't they making moves? But Jerry thinks that signing his quarterback and signing the wide receiver at the last possible moment after training camp is doing a whole lot in the offseason. This organization, this team is always talking about taking accountability, guys doing their jobs, doing the right things, making the right decisions. That's what they talk about all the time. But when it comes to Jerry Jones admitting his faults as a owner, as a GM, he's not taking any accountability. And what's so frustrating about this is that Jerry wants the praise. He wants to be the GM. He wants to be on the radio. He wants to be known as a football expert. He wants to be the reason that they got to a Super Bowl and won it. But he doesn't want the pressure of questions like this. Jerry doesn't like to answer the questions about concerns surrounding the roster and the offseason that the Cowboys just had. And it's been floating around out there in the Cowboys verse about the Cowboys culture, the players taking accountability, being all in this together and trying to win games. But it seems like this interview is what people are talking about with a culture problem. And this isn't the first time that we've heard this. I mean, a lot of people a lot of the time complain about Jerry Jones and his role with the Cowboys. Before we continue, I wanted to give a shout out to the sponsor of today's video, BETUS. Football, basketball, ice hockey, baseball, whatever you need, BETUS has you covered. My favorite part is that you can filter by props, conferences, divisions, playoff specials, anything that you want. It's right there at your fingertips. So head over to BETUS and get an awesome deal with the deposit bonus and start playing playing this Sunday. They have an awesome promotion right now where you get a 150% bonus on your first deposit and then 125% on your next two. And if you win, they have you covered with fast and easy payout. Thank you so much to BETUS for sponsoring today's video. Now, let's get back into it. But this just shows this is the problem. If the owner can't take accountability, how can we expect anyone else in that building to do it? It's a culture problem. It's a top to bottom organizational problem that starts with the owner, and it's insane. I mean, really, how hard is it as a billionaire to go on the radio and say, yes, I wish we would have tried harder this offseason. We don't have the depth that I wish we had. We're going to try and fix this, find the issues, fix it. If we got to go out and trade for somebody, then that's what we got to do. But no. He gets on the radio and goes on a rant about pointing out mistakes he made back in the 1970s, which isn't at all relevant to what the Cowboys did during the 2024 offseason when people were begging them to make just one or two significant moves. But no, he just gets mad at the host for asking questions about his decisions, his team. Dude, they're asking you this because your team got absolutely manhandled on Sunday. Jerry even said it himself. Even with the injuries that they had, you should not be getting beat like that in the NFL. So yes, people are going to be questioning what's happening at the top. How does a team that has won 36 games in the past 3 years get beat 47-9? How are they getting blown out at home by more than 30 points 2 times already this season? And their other home game was on the way to that until they caught a few breaks late in the Ravens game. So yes, people are going to be questioning you. That's kind of how this whole GM thing works, especially when you want to get on the radio every single week. You don't want people asking tough questions. Don't get on the radio. How many other owners have their own radio spot every week? But most telling of all from this interview is that everything is not fine and cordial over there at the Star. Of course, we knew that the owner, GM, and his son weren't going to be happy with the game, but it seems to be a little bit worse than what I would have initially thought. I think it's starting to set in that they know that this roster is not good enough. They're not happy with the decisions that they made. They understand mistakes were made. Now it's just about owning up to that, going and making a move or two that maybe gives the fans some sort of hope that you are trying to fix it. And I know that Bobby and Sean and RJ were talking about this, but at this point, the tone that Jerry Jones put out there when he was answering this question was that he's not going to make a move just because people are telling him to make a move. He's not going to do it because by doing so, it's owning up to your mistakes. You're owning up to the fact that you didn't make a move at running back or defensive tackle or linebacker enough to make this team better. But no, he won't own up to it and tell the fans that he's sorry for this and they're going to try to salvage the season in some way. It's not going to happen. And it really extends beyond what they did personnel-wise this offseason. They're not going to admit by firing Mike McCarthy that it was a bad idea to keep him as a lame duck head coach that doesn't have anything guaranteed after 2024. You have a coach that has shelled up because he knows that if he doesn't perform, he's not going to be here next year. You have a locker room full of guys that also know that Mike likely isn't going to be here next year. It just creates an entire culture problem around accountability, respect for coaches and staff. Guys with big contracts that are going to be here past 2024 might not listen to a coach that's not going to be here past 2024. And then you have your owner getting on the radio and saying that you can't point out his mistakes. They'd be on the radio all day long if you pointed out every mistake that he's made. Look at all the good that Jerry Jones has done. So, very, very interesting stuff this morning. I mean, we should have known it wasn't going to go great. I mean, 47-9. The pressure is really on for this team. Mike McCarthy's presser on Monday did not look great. That guy looks like he's struggling a little bit, but let me know what you guys think. I'm sure a lot of you guys have stuff to say. So thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed, please be sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel. I love you all, and I'll see you probably later today. Bye.